This Sunday was Mothering Sunday, and it was probably one of the strangest Mother's Days in living memory. Many people would have missed the normality of going to see their mums, as they would have done if things had been normal. I lost my mother on New Year's Day 2003 when she died after having battled cancer for about 5 years. She was quite a force to be reckoned with, a woman who was small in stature but with a large personality. She was from Belfast and was the ninth of 11 children. She grew up in the 1930s and 40s and saw incredible things happen in her lifetime. She was evacuated from Belfast during the Second World War to a small village in Northern Ireland called Bushmills, which is the location of the world's oldest whiskey distillery. I remember that my mum loved singing, she loved poetry, she loved laughing, and she loved her family. Every Mother's Day since Mum died has been a reminder of her. Not that I need a special day to remember her, as I'm sure everyone who has suffered the loss of their mum can affirm. You remember them at the strangest moments, when you hear yourself say something that your mother would have said, or you laugh at something that she would have laughed at. In my mum's case, that might be the Morecambe and Wise Andrew preview sketch, or another repeat of Open All Hours. But even though my mum hasn't been around for some years now, there is something that she gave me which will never leave me, and I hope it's something that I can pass on to my boys. My mum loved the Lord, and she loved his word. Some of my earliest memories are of my mum sitting with her large King James Version Bible open in front of her as she read her daily portion. She read the Bible and she prayed, and her children saw her doing it. She talked to us about what she read. She told us stories from the Bible about people like Ruth, Esther, Daniel, and Joseph. And she told us about Jesus and how he died and rose again for us. She told us that God loved his people and took care of them, and he would do the same for us if we gave our lives to him. Over the years, there have been other godly women in my life who have encouraged and inspired me to keep walking with God. One of these was dear Heather Cash, whose funeral I was privileged to attend last week. Many of us can testify to Heather's love of the Lord Jesus and how she demonstrated that to those she came into contact with. I'd like to read you a few verses from Deuteronomy chapter 6, verses 4 to 9, and this is what those verses say. Listen, O Israel, the Lord is our God, the Lord alone. And you must love the Lord your God with all your heart, all your soul, and all your strength. And you must commit yourselves wholeheartedly to these commands that I am giving you today. Repeat them again and again to your children. Talk about them when you are at home and when you are on the road, when you are going to bed and when you are getting up. Tie them to your hands and wear them on your forehead as reminders. Write them on your doorposts of your house and on your gates. So let's be encouraged. Keep talking about God. Keep talking about his laws and his word. Keep talking about Jesus and what he's done for you. And let your children and everyone you know that you love God. God bless you.